Come into this space. Come into this space, you who are on the other side of this electronic screen. Come into this space that we are now creating together. This space that will provide us with hope and sanctuary for about the next hour. Come into this space, whether or not you have checked the news yet today. Come into this space no matter how you are feeling in this moment, and know that you are welcome here. No matter who you love, no matter your sexual or gender orientation, no matter your class, immigration, or disability status, whether you are neurodivergent or neurotypical, you are welcome here. This is a space for you to be here with us today. Welcome. I am the Reverend Robin Stillwater, and I am honored to be your guest speaker today. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I am looking forward to this next hour. Come, let us worship together.
I invite those of you at home to light a candle, a chalice, or whatever you choose to serve as your chalice at home. I have mine right here. And I light this chalice with these words. For everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which has been planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to seek, and a time to lose. A time to keep, and a time to cast away. A time to rend, and a time to sow. A time to keep silence, and a time to speak. A time to love, and a time to hate. A time for war, and a time for peace. And this is taken from Ecclesiastes 3, verses 1 through 8. Please join with me in the reading of the unison affirmation. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to speak our truths in love, and to help one another.
this coming Saturday, November 21st, UCH will participate in the Beyond Categorical Thinking workshop offered by the UUA for congregations in search of a new minister. The search committee invites all congregational leaders, members, and friends to participate in this Zoom workshop. The Beyond Categorical Thinking program is designed to promote inclusive thinking and help prevent unfair discrimination in the search process for a new minister. Many times we hold a picture of the ideal minister categorized by age, gender, class, identity, nationality, physical or cognitive ability, race, sexual orientation, etc. With this picture in place, it can be easy to unintentionally exclude ministers who fall into certain categories. So the BCT, the Beyond Categorical Thinking workshop, is a 3-hour workshop with a facilitator trained by the UUA. In the workshop, members will consider the hopes, expectations, and concerns they have for a new minister. This is different and separate from the Charettes. We'll learn more about the ministerial search process and explore how thinking categorically about people sometimes interferes with choosing the best candidate. And there's a little bit of updated information. I provided an announcement last week for the November 8th service. We've changed the times a little bit, and we're going to provide a little bit more information. On Saturday, November 21st, via Zoom, there will be 2 sessions broken into 90-minute segments. They're 2 different sessions, so you need to expect to be at both. The first one will start at 11 and it will conclude at 12:30. The second one will start at 1:30, giving you an hour lunch break, and will conclude at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And we'll ask everyone to register. If you do participate in both sessions, you'll be entered into a raffle to win a $25 Etsy gift card. So we strongly encourage you, for learning purposes and for the chance to win something fun, to come to both sessions. They'll both be held via Zoom, and again, you'll be able to register. Check your church email. All right, thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Corey, and I serve as your Director of Religious Exploration. Today's story is titled Superheroes Are Everywhere, and it's written by our Vice President-elect, Kamala Harris. In this book, Kamala Harris shares with us that she became a lawyer and a United States Senator. But when she was a little girl, she loved superheroes, and when she looked around, she was amazed to find them everywhere. In her family, among her friends, even down the street, there were superheroes wherever she looked. And those superheroes showed her that all you need to do to be a superhero is to be the best that you can be. Now, I don't have time to read this whole story, so I'm just going to select a few pages to entertain you. Heroes make you feel special. It didn't take long to find one. I noticed my mom had a special touch. Her hugs made me feel warm, safe, and even strong. She knew I loved food, so she taught me her secret recipes. And we'd create huge, delicious meals together for our friends and family. I even cooked some of the dishes all by myself. See, Kamala, my mom would say, you can do anything if you put your heart in it and try hard. Anything in this world. Heroes are people that you can count on. Now, her sister Maya, they did everything together. Ballet class, piano lessons, bike riding, and board games. I knew that if I ever needed her, she'd be there. One half of our dynamic duo. I wonder, who can you count on in your life? Heroes make you feel brave. I kept searching for superheroes in other parts of my family. My dad wanted me to be fearless. Whenever we went to the park, he'd let go of my hand and call out, "Run, Kamala, run." And I'd run as far as I could for as long as I could See, Kamala shares with us that heroes stand up for what's right. And her grandmother was one of the individuals that showed her, because she used her smarts and her voice to speak out for women who were being hurt and to teach them how to stay healthy. And heroes are her best friends. My best friends and I cared about each other. When I was in kindergarten, I told a boy to stop teasing one of my best friends. And another time, that best friend helped me when I fell on the playground. We all wanted to feel safe at school. Some of our teachers are heroes. I loved my first grade teacher, Mrs. Wilson. She taught us about plants and flowers, how to sing songs for us from cultures around the world, and revealed how tadpoles turned into frogs. Heroes can be kind. I wonder, who is kind to you? Heroes like to explore with you. Her Aunt Lenore and herself chased fireflies and caught them in jars. Uncle Sherman taught her how to play chess. Aunt Mary and I read a book after book together, and Uncle Freddie took her to museums where they'd see dazzling artwork. Heroes work hard. I'm sure you know of a lot of people in your family and your friends that work hard. Heroes protect people. After college, she wanted to become a lawyer, like some of the people that she looked up to, such as Thurgood Marshall, Constant Baker Motley, and Charles Hamilton Houston. They fought in court because they knew that people aren't always treated equally, but they should be. Like them, she wanted to make sure that the law would protect everybody. Finally, heroes make a difference together. Once she became a lawyer and then a senator, and now our vice president-elect, she works with all sorts of people to help kids. Even better, she got to know amazing kids who want to make the world a better place. And do you know how she learned? Because heroes are you.
This is the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on song. This is the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on song. This is the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on song. I am Abigail, and this is Sean, and we're so glad that you've turned this on and welcomed us into your home, and you are welcome into our home. We're in Dayton, Ohio. We're in Sean's parents' house.
My parents' house.
Sean's parents' house. We were in Louisville when the shit hit, and we packed our 3-year-old into a car. We drove kind of far. We drove here, and we've been so lucky and blessed to be safely here. And we thought we'd be here for like 10 days tops.
What did we know?
What did we know?
What
did we know? We thought we knew a lot. We thought we knew a lot. Keep going on song. This is a keep going, keep going, keep going on. Keep going on song. This is a keep going, keep going, keep going on. Keep going on song. And we've been mostly healthy. We've been okay. Are you okay? Are you alright? Are you okay? Are you alright? Are you okay? I hope your body is whole tonight. And if your heart is breaking, I hope it's breaking open. And if your breath is shaking, I hope it's shaking through. And then I hope that you've watched a lot of really great television, like a lot of it. And I hope that you find a hand lotion that actually makes your skin feel better. And I hope that you have enough to eat. Hope you're getting enough sleep, and I hope you have enough good company or enough good memory to last you a long time. Keep going, keep going, keep going on. Keep going on song. We sing the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on. Keep going on
song.
Let's bring some joy into the room, why not? We can try it, or some rage,
Keep going, keep going.
and some grief and relief. Ooh, I hold my rage, I pray my rage is a fire that cleans my mind out and makes me ready to listen. I pray my pain is a river that flows to the ocean that connects my pain to yours. And I pray my happiness is like pollen that flies to you and pollinates your joy. Oh boy, is that possible? I don't know. We are making this up as we go. We have to make it up as we go. The keep going song, the keep going song. Oh, we're making it up. We're making it up as we go. Keep going on. Keep going on song. And I pray that when we meet again, that the world has changed into the world that we are imagining now together. And I pray that the world has become the world that we're planting inside of ourselves for each other and for our ancestors and for our kids. Ooh, and we're gonna start. This is a rough beginning. That's all I've got is a rough beginning to offer you. We're gonna start by singing some songs in this tiny space together. We're just gonna sing some songs for you, and we hope that when you hear them, you will feel a little bit less alone, and we will feel a little bit less alone in the work and in the hurt, and we will be together tonight somehow, whenever this is, wherever this is. We will be together tonight for the keep going on. Keep going on song. This is a keep going on. Keep going on song. This is a keep going on. Keep going on song. This is a keep going on. Keep going on song. This is a keep going on. Keep going on.
Hello everyone. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever it is when you're watching this video. Welcome. My name is Lindsay Glessner, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be your lay liturgist for today. This member reflection was tough for me. I don't know why. I just felt this really incredible need to be very uplifting and very positive, and I wanted everybody to walk away feeling just a little bit lighter with the craziness that's going on in the world. But I was having a hard time coming up with the words that actually accomplished that goal. But I did find a quote, and it goes like this, and it says, "Do not look for sanctuary in anyone but yourself." And that was said by Buddha. And through the moments leading up to the election, I really saw the importance of this. As a disclaimer, I promise I do know the importance of voting and the importance of taking a stand for what we believe in for the betterment of our country, but I also realized just how important it is that I vote for myself and my mental health. This was a bit of a similar sentiment that I was feeling from friends and family members and even members of our own congregation. I heard a lot of, "I just can't turn it off. I really want to, but I can't," or "I just want it to be over. I don't want to hear any more about it." I resonated with a lot of this. I felt it as well. I think our system has failed us in a way that we're never encouraged to take a moment of silence for ourselves. we do our ultimate best to be the best family members, husbands, wives that we possibly can be for members of our community and church and ultimately our country. But what's next? Things have sort of settled down. We have this bit of a lull in between. What do we do with this time? For myself, regardless of whether it's an election season, I find my cup very empty. I'm a mom, I'm a full-time student, I'm a wife, I work, I help family members, I volunteer, and don't get me wrong, I love my life, I love my family, but if I don't take some serious time for some R&R, it gets a little bit more difficult to continue to give. While working with a resident and putting this member reflection together, I remembered a moment I had with a resident. And for those of you that don't know me, I work in a retirement home. I do personal care and medications for these residents, and I get a lot of one-on-one time with them. And I got really close to this one particular resident, and I was expressing some stress in life, and he said, "Space. You just really need some space." And he said, if you don't give it to yourself, you're going to spend your whole life wishing your time away. That really, really stuck with me. I remembered that for like a year since I've talked with him. And his words came back in the middle of this election of, I just really need some space. But what does that include? What does that mean? For me, it means just carving out 30 minutes a day for myself. We all have the same amount of time in the day, but how we use it is up to us. So for me, I try my best to do 30 minutes of yoga a day. I'm not a runner. I don't enjoy really intensive exercise, but I do really find solace in yoga. I read a lot for school, so it's really nice to take 15 minutes to read a book or listen to an audiobook that I enjoy, that has nothing to do with scholarly work. It's actually incredibly refreshing. But what I really challenge myself to do is take 3 minutes. That's it. 3 minutes to just not engage, to not listen, to not watch, to not do, to not clean, just to be there, to sit and listen to my space. I believe, including myself, we as people fear silence. For within the silence, we would have to face the fact that we need some time to visit and talk with our souls. I encourage you, when the TV has nothing good to say and you feel that overwhelming sense of doom and anxiety and dread, listen to that feeling. Listen to it. That is your soul saying it's thirsty and your cup is empty. You have the power to turn it off. You have the power to say, enough, I need some space. For that space that we allow ourselves, we fill our own cup just a little bit more, and with that cup we are later able to give, speak up, help, or do better than we had before. With that, I leave you with my favorite quote, and it goes like this. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift, and that is why it is called the present. I urge you to find your space. Find your sanctuary within yourself, for from that space, we cultivate better self, better community, and ultimately, better country. Thank you so much for being here.
I want to let you know that this sermon is going to be talking about things that are happening in the world today. Some of the things that are happening in the world today are white supremacist and anti-Semitism. So this sermon will have some of that. However, I promise we will end on a good note. So I don't know if you've heard, but in their own words, the Proud Boys are a white supremacist organization. If you're not familiar with the Proud Boys, they rose to national fame after the presidential debates, when President Trump was asked to denounce white supremacy. He asked for an example of a white supremacist organization. The Proud Boys were given as an example. And President Trump now infamously said, "Stand back and stand by," which the Proud Boys latched onto as a phrase that they used from then on as something the president had said about them. Now, they were quick after this happened to come out and say that they are not a white supremacist organization. And the president of the Proud Boys is a man named Enrique Toria, and he is Cuban American. He is not a white man. Plus, if you go to the website of the Proud Boys, their tenets don't state anything that is explicitly white supremacist. So there was some justification for thinking that maybe the Proud Boys were not a white supremacist organization. Then, just in the last week, a man named Kyle, who also goes by Stickman, a member and leader of the Proud Boys, along with Enrique Toria, he came out condemning Enrique Toria, actually using a racial slur. He then went on to say that their organization will no longer pander to the left, that they do not want, they use the Nazi phrase undesirables in their group or organization, and he stated that they were going to rename themselves the Proud Goys, which is, of course, something that is anti-Semitism. I mean, they're basically saying that they're proud that they're not Jews. Now, this seems like maybe it would be a good thing. I mean, right? Like, they're admitting it. Awesome. Except for that, I and many others have spent time and energy in the last few weeks helping people to understand, to use this as an opportunity to educate people on how white supremacy can be seen in the more subtle ways and things. To see how even when people aren't stating it explicitly, it is still there. And of course, if you looked at the history of the Proud Boys, if you looked at how they were founded, what they said and their actions and what they did, it was really obvious that yes, they're a white supremacist organization. Now, I can't speak for all of the Proud Boys. I am sure that there are some who are not as white supremacist as Kyle Stickman is. And Enrique Toria does seem like someone who is genuinely against white supremacy and anti-Semitism. However, the group as a whole and what their actions suggest is definitely white supremacist. So yeah, great, they're admitting it. That's awesome. Except for that all that time and energy that I put in, they could have just admitted it from the beginning. They could have saved me that time and energy. They could have saved us that time and energy. And this is what it feels like my life has become. This is what it feels like the nation has become, is just putting out a series of small fires. Between the pandemic, the election, the results from the election, the fear of what's going to happen now that the election has happened, the fear of what will happen in the next 65 days from today. I am tired of spending all of my time putting out little fires. if people had been willing to state clearly who they are right up front, I would have been saved the energy that I put into trying to explain how they were who they were. It is exhausting, is it not? Now, sometimes the time and the effort is worth it. I mean, there are people that I care about, and for them, time and effort is absolutely worth every second. I have a personal example of this recently. I made the classic mistake of getting into an argument on the internet. But in my defense, the person I was getting into an argument with is an old friend from college. Someone who, yes, is from West Virginia and was raised with West Virginia ideals, but who, at the same time, is someone who always cared about the people around them. Someone who is always willing to be right there with you. Right there in that moment. Learning together and growing together. So I thought that he was worth my time. He had posted a post on Facebook that said, as a lot of posts are coming up to say now, we can all have different opinions and accept one another. Just because you think differently from I do, that doesn't mean that we don't have to be friends or that your opinion isn't worthy of respect. Be tolerant of each other and all of these different ideas. Now, if you know me and if you listened to my sermon 4 years ago after the last presidential election, you'll know that I am someone who believes strongly in relationships across political differences. I firmly believe that we do not have to think alike to love alike. And part of the reason I think and believe that is because I know that the Robin standing in front of you now is not the Robin that has lived for her entire life. And you are not the same person that you lived as for your entire life. I have only been able to see oppression and to work for social justice because there were people who were willing to stay in relationship with me even when I did not know what I was talking about. People that I cared about and respected, who were willing to stay in conversation. And so, yes, I believe in staying in relationship through political differences. However, there is a theory called the paradox of tolerance. It's by a guy named Karl Popper who lived through World War II. And it states that if I am tolerant, just completely tolerant of everything, including intolerance, then eventually the intolerance will win. For example, if someone comes to me and says, I believe that there are certain groups of people, certain races or religions that deserve less human rights than other groups, if I say to that person, well, you know what? That's your opinion. That's okay. You can just have your opinion and I'll have my opinion and I can still respect you. Then what happens is that the person with that opinion spreads that opinion. And eventually it becomes policy, and then it becomes law, and then it becomes the way that nation works. If people are tolerant of intolerance, the intolerance wins. Now I know that when I have been intolerant, relationships with people I respect have helped me to change to a more tolerant attitude. And I thought that this college friend was someone who respected me. And so I commented on his post and I said, well, except for Nazis and Nazi opinions. Agreed? I thought that we could agree on that. And maybe I should preface this by telling you that this friend of mine, his profile picture is of him playing a guitar that's painted with the Confederate flag. So I knew we weren't going to agree on everything, but I thought that we could agree that Nazis and Nazi opinions are not worthy of tolerance. I thought that was a pretty low bar to set and one that surely we would be able to agree on. Well, he responded very similarly to how President Trump just responded in that debate. Nazis? What Nazis? What Nazi opinions? I spent hours of my time and my life and my energy responding to him, trying to help him learn and understand that really Nazi opinions will get us all in trouble. Nazi opinions will lead us down a road and into a war that I thought we settled over almost 100 years ago. And so when the moment finally came that he admitted that he thinks Nazi opinions are okay, when he finally actually said that, I was so hurt and devastated. I went from having this hope to being somewhat more hopeless. This person that I thought was trustworthy, this person that I thought respected me and cared about me, suddenly was not. And that feels like what my life has been over these months. This person likes and trusts and respects me. Oh, wait, maybe they don't. Oh, it's just this roller coaster of hopefulness and hopelessness. And when I am in the moments of hopelessness, when I am in the moments of such deep despair and hurt, there is nothing that anyone can say to make it right. In those moments, there is nothing that is going to fix this. There is nothing that is going to magically make it better because I am hurting and I am hopeless and I am tired. And there are no words that are going to fix that. And so in those moments, when it seems like there is nothing left and nothing good, in those moments, I like to make a big bowl of slightly burnt popcorn. And sometimes I like to pair it with a bowl of ice cream. My favorite is this brand called Grater's. If you have Grater's where you live, oh my gosh, get it. It is the best ice cream I have ever had, at least that you can buy in a store. And it comes in these little pints. I recommend the black raspberry chip because that smooth, creamy coldness, that sweet, combined with that salty, crunchy, starchiness, together, they are just the best. And they don't fix my despair, no, but they do help me have just enough hope that I am able to find the energy to keep going on. I know my best friend, he does something similar. His favorite is a Snickers bar. And I have another friend for whom it's books, fiction, fantasy, teenage type books. She loves a good book when she's feeling really down. And I'm sure that you have something like this too. Maybe it's making an elaborate meal for your pet, or taking your child out to do something fun, or going shopping, buying that nice thing for yourself that makes you feel a little better, or a glass of wine. All these things that, if done in excess, end up being really harmful. You know, if I have popcorn and ice cream every night, that's not going to be good for my body or my soul. And if I turn to the bottle every time I'm feeling down, well, that's why 12-step programs were created. So it's important to balance this, right? This isn't something for every moment of the day or even every day. But these little things, these small things that I can give gratitude for, these small things that can help pick me up, every now and then I can find the joy in them, and they help me to go on. They help me to find the hopefulness in the crunch and the smooth, and in the salty and the sweet. just like the popcorn and the ice cream balance each other out, the popcorn and the ice cream help balance out the despair in the world. You know, I cannot fix white supremacy in the nation all by myself in this moment. I cannot magically fix the pandemic all by myself in this moment. I cannot fix what is wrong with elections in our country all by myself in this moment. I cannot fix my friend and the hurt that I feel when they betray me all by myself in this moment. And I can offer gratitude for the simple, simple things that help bring me joy. And so my call to you today is that whenever you encounter despair in your life in the coming moments, find that small thing. Find the little thing that will lift you up and bring you joy. We may not be able to fix things in this moment by ourselves, but if we take the time to take care of our minds and our souls and our bodies, if we find that little bit of hope to just keep on going right now, then together we can make real change in the world going forward. I don't know what the world is going to look like between the recording of this sermon on Thursday and you watching it on Sunday. I don't know what your week is going to look like in this coming time. But I know that you can find something small, something to be grateful for, and that can keep you going. May it be so. I love you. Amen.
For the keep going on. Keep going on song. This is a keep going on. Keep going on.
Even as we are separated and sitting in our own homes today, the Unitarian Church of Harrisburg is still a freely gathered church of free people. The church is created, sustained, and supported by you. The ministry continues even when the building is closed. And for the month of November, the plate collection will be shared with Ecumenical Food Pantry. There is a link for contributing to today's plate collection in the video description below. You may have to click on the words "Show More" to see it. The same link is in the email that was sent out to members this morning. Your financial support and commitment matter, and we thank you so much for your generosity.
Hey, we made it to the end of the service. I'm so glad you helped create this space with me, and I hope that you are leaving feeling slightly more uplifted and like you are not alone in this world, because you are not. We are all in this together. I want to take a second to acknowledge that there were no joys or sorrows submitted for this week. And I am sure that there are joys and sorrows being carried in your heart to be shared together at another time. Let's have a moment of silence for those things. Until the time is right to share them. Big thank yous to Tavia and Yvonne and Kel and Lindsay for helping make this service happen. It would not happen without y'all, and I know that this is a lot of work. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. As you all go out into this coming week, may your moments be filled with comfort and love and joy, and if needed, something small to help keep you going. You are not alone. May it be so. Amen.
For the keep going on, keep going on song. This is a keep going